So thank you everybody for joining in today. This is Tiffany Nicole Speaks, and I have my friend Antonio here. He's actually going to join me on today. I know typically y'all don't see me with another person, so today is a little bit different. It's kind of like a show. So last video we talked about soft era, and soft era was primarily talking about women and how to take care of yourself as a woman. Different things that you need to do to make sure your vibe is right. And so I kind of wanted to make a second video to elaborate on soft era, but more so soft era between women, a woman and a man. And so today, that's what we're here for. We're here to talk about the soft era and what you guys think. Just kind of want to give you some different ways of how to look at it. If a soft era is even appropriate, if, you know, for a guy, like, is that expected? Is that something that's, you know, typical, or is it a little bit out of the ordinary? So Antonio is going to kind of help us out. I want to just ask you, like, what do you think about the soft era? Like, what comes to mind when you hear this soft era? Because this is a new thing. It's been out for maybe about the past 2 years now. And it's been getting a little bit bigger as time goes on. So what do you think? Like, what comes to mind when you think about that?
For me, the soft era represents tapping into your feminine energy. Both men and women. Being soft is being okay with knowing that we both possess the feminine energy. And I think it's a good thing to be able to balance your masculine and your feminine energy out. So we all have it in us, so I think it's important to tap into it. It's not okay for a woman or a man to always like be too hard and you know, be dominant. Sometimes you gotta explore your feminine energy, and I believe that's just basically being soft. That's the soft era,
right?
To me. You know what I mean?
So, like, what do you think is too hard? Like, when you talk about too hard, are we talking about men being too hard or too tough? Or are we talking about women being too hard or too tough? Like, what do you elaborate on what you think about being hard or being tough is?
For a man, being too hard is just always being super aggressive. You know,
wow, yeah.
Always like, because, you know, growing up, most men were taught to be tough. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Show no weakness. So being considered to be weak, things that would be considered to be weak is to be expressing your feelings.
Yeah.
Crying. Just kind of like, because most men, if you really think about it, most men are really like afraid to cry, especially in front of their woman. It makes them super vulnerable. I think that you gotta really be tapped into your feminine energy to be able to express your feelings.
Oh, that's good.
And cry in front of your woman, and, you know, just be open
and transparent.
Yeah, transparent. But just being too hard, women or men, but I just say men. Men was just raised to have a tough shell.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? They mama, if they fall, their mama might tell them, "Get up, boy, don't cry." So it's just instilled in you from a kid
about like not to cry.
Yeah, to be hard and not to express your feelings. And I think if we could reprogram it and allow young men to express how they feel, if they're hurting, if they're in pain, if they're you know, feeling vulnerable, express all of your feelings, because that makes you well-rounded.
Yeah.
When you not expressing it and you holding stuff back, you know what I'm saying, it kind of become like a sharp edge.
Exactly.
And then you won't let nobody into those feelings. So that's why a lot of men are not feminine.
Yeah.
In my view, but I think for women, being tapped into their masculine energy is also from birth. You
I
know
was going to get into that.
Like
That's
birth.
good.
Like they, if you look at a single parent household who has a daughter and a son, the son is almost treated like a king around the house, almost treated like the woman wants the man, you know.
Yeah, like that's the man of the house, you know, because she typically, she doesn't have a husband or anybody there, so he's treated,
And the woman, like the little girl that she's raising, she's tough on her because she understands what she's been through. In my eyes, she understands what she's been through, so she's trying to protect her from the world. You know what I'm saying? Get her ready for the world. So the from birth, the women are a lot harder on their girls, and they almost groom them to be masculine. And then when they get off into the world, they have roles where they're like in leadership. You know what I'm saying? Or they in their company, they might be running the show. It's a lot of women who are like in control that way, and it just puts them in that position, the masculine position. So
and it's really funny that you say that, because I know for me, like, I was raised by a single mom, and it was just two. It was us two, my sister and myself, and my mom raised us to be tough. She raised us to be tough. I was the oldest child of the house, so I was pretty much like the boy. I was taking out the trash, you know, whatever needed to be done. I was making sure things were done. I was assisting her when things were too heavy, too hard for her. I'm like the oldest one, so it's like, come help me if it's something pertaining to her car, her oil, this, that. Like, I was the next her. So
grooming you to be a boy,
grooming me to be masculine, you know. And so when I grew up, I must say that when I grew up, it was pretty easy for me to begin raising my children because I had already like helped my mom so much with my younger sister as well. So like when it became time for me to raise my children, I was like, oh, this is a piece of cake because I've already been doing it. But furthermore, I was super strong, super strong. And in a way, it was a good thing because it taught me how to get through a lot of things. But at the same time, like, I started realizing as I got older and got into relationships that it was kind of like a conflict because you have this masculine energy, you know, you're this alpha female, you know, and then you got another alpha. And it's like, you know, so they like, who gonna back down, you know? Who gonna back down? And so that was very, very tough for me to be able to like take my hands off of it. Like it was hard for me to take my hands off of it. And so, you know, I think in order for a woman to kind of like step back and let a man, you know, do him, you know, be a man, let a man be a man, is when a woman can actually be in her soft area in the first place. You know, like allow me to be a woman but that comes with me trusting you. Like I have to trust you and know that you got it.
So what, okay, I got two questions.
Okay.
First off, what does feminine energy or soft mean, like in your definition? And also, do you think with your mom raising you in a masculine way, it stripped all your feminine energy away, or did she instill some feminine things into you also?
Well, so let me start off with your first question, which is what comes to mind? What the soft mean to me? What does the soft area mean to me? I think ultimately soft can mean several things when you talk about a woman. You know, it with us, it's never like a straight shot. It's always looking at it multiple ways. You know, she can feel multiple ways. She can, you know, so with a woman, things may come off a little bit more complex, as, you know, some men would call it. But I think ultimately, you know, for a woman, for us to be, you know, in tune with that soft space is, you know, one, like I talked about in the first video, is like self-care. Taking care of yourself. I think oftentimes we as moms, we as women tend to put the husband before ourselves, or we tend to put the children before ourselves. I tend to feed my kids before I eat. I tend to let them take baths, and I'm still hustling around with my work clothes on. Like I don't take care of me until the very last. And that's always been how it has, you know, how it's been for me.
So that's so in your opinion, that's part of being soft, like being a nurturer.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, so
being a nurturer, but more so now, beginning to put myself first.
Right.
You know, now my kids are older, and I still, of course, I love the kids, but I take care of me a lot of times.
Right.
Not every time. It's not every time that's convenient where I can take care of myself first. But there are times where I'm like, this is a non-negotiable. Mm-hmm. I'm going to go take that 30 minutes for myself to go, do something special for me, It may be sometimes where, someone may ask me to do something and I might say that has to wait until because I need to do X, Y, and Z for myself, So I've started like cutting out that time for me. So I can say that is the soft era for me, making time for myself. Also, I think the soft era is more so, again, like in entering these relationships that you have and knowing when you can kind of take a step back and knowing that it's okay to let go. Mm-hmm. But I think that women in today, it's kind of like you have to show me that you, and I'm not saying like you literally got to prove yourself to this person, but you have to show me that you got it. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? You have to show me that I can take care of this without you. I don't need your masculinity as a woman. I don't need that. And I'm going to show you why I don't need that, And then once someone sees like, okay, they got it. I don't need to, oh, wait, he about to drop something. Oh, wait, I got to, follow up. I got to make sure. I got to make sure that he did this. I got to make sure he did that. Did you get this done? Did you get, I don't want to have to follow up with you. You should be following up with me to make sure I took care of my business. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? Yeah. So to me, that's the soft era as well. And so, the second question was, do I feel like with my mom raising me to be so masculine, do I feel like that pretty much?
Yeah, did she teach you the feminine side too? Like, did y'all go for spa days and self-care, like you just said? Did y'all go for spa days together? Did she was a man around to where she could show you how to treat a man, how to pamper, how to cater to a man, in her soft, was she ever in her soft era to a man in front of you? If you didn't, I feel like if she didn't give you that representation and show you how it was supposed to be, because I know we all had grandmothers, and we in our 30s, so our grandmothers 60s, 70s, 80s, you know what I mean? Mm-hmm. So they were really the first generation to step, from, not too far from slavery, and they were taught to be submissive to their husband.
Our first example.
You know what I'm saying? Be submissive to their husband, and they were in the soft era. I seen my grandmother never raise her voice to my grandfather. Never, they never argue in front of us. I know they had arguments before, and he sat at the head of the table. Mm-hmm. She made sure his plate was. She made sure he ate first.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And she never talked bad in front of him, in front of nobody. Mm-hmm. Talk bad about him. I never heard my grandma say nothing bad about my grandfather.
Right.
And I think that's because women have a way of tearing men down. They'll do it publicly, or they'll do it for you. And I can hit you with a punch, and you will heal from the punch. But mentally, when you abusive to a man, or you tear him down and don't build him up, not in your feminine energy. It'll keep the man, that can stay in his head for 20 years until he heals from it. He'll almost feel inferior to some of the shit you say.
Right.
Because, you're not in your feminine when you tear a man down.
Right.
Because you're a nurturer, you're supposed to build him up.
Right. That's a good point. I will say, I think my mom did the best that she could, giving me the most feminine energy possible. Because I was very much a girl, very much favorite color was pink, and everything in the room was pink, and everything that I wanted and needed, she was buying it. You know, she made sure me and my sister were well taken care of. And she was that concerned parent. She was always there. If I wanted to be in cheerleading, dancing, whatever it was, she was right there dancing, you know, along. Yeah. So, I will say that there were parts that she definitely embraced when it came to the feminine side. But there were some things, of course, that I didn't get a chance to see because there was not necessarily a man in our home. You know, she did date someone, and she dated him for quite some time. And that was probably the best example that I had, because I got a chance to learn a lot of different things from like family gatherings. I saw what family gatherings look like from other perspectives, other families, from the masculine side of the family, with a male kind of like being around all the time. He was a male that was around all the time. So when you would go to his house and, you know, you'd see his family and how they interacted, you'd see my mom fixing his plate. You'd see my mom, like when the music is on and it's a block party, they dancing in the middle of the street together. You know, like I saw them dressed the same, like in the same color. Like, you know, we going to a party, they both got on red suit, red dress, purple this, purple that. So, I mean, and he would be like, he would call her and be like, you got your dress? You know, I gave you the money, you got your dress, you good? You know, she go in to get her hair done. So, I mean, I got a chance to see, you know, what couples, you know, what that looked like as far as a man and a woman, and the certain things that what a man is supposed to do. Like, he would make sure that we had whatever we needed, you know what I'm saying? Even though he wasn't necessarily in the home, but he made sure that like her kids were good. So we got a chance to see, like, you know, when a man loves you and he cares about you, like, he's supposed to also make sure that the extension of you is taken care of, which was her kids. You know what I'm saying? So I got a chance to see her respect him in those regards, like him taking care of her and her taking care of him. And, you know, even to this day, they're still, you know, good friends or whatever. So I will say that I'm not totally strict, because I was able to see how a man and a woman, you know, are supposed to treat each other when they genuinely just have a good time with each other. They love each other. They're there for each other and each other's families. I got a chance to see that. But I also think that the soft era can be learned. Learned behavior. This wasn't something that was taught to me young. You know what I'm saying? But as I grew up, I learned that these are the things that I'm supposed. So it's never too late for a person to change. I just think ultimately you have to make up your mind whether you want to enter that era or not. But you know, because everybody doesn't want to enter that era.
But I got a question.
What?
Since we talking.
Okay. Bring it on. Okay.
Is the soft era or the softness from the woman for the woman or for the man?
Ooh. Well, I'm gonna say ultimately.
Or is it what they think we want? Have they ever asked to try to understand what we want? We do want a soft woman though, but I'm saying, is it as a woman you feel you should be just be soft anyway, or you feel like you only be soft when you're with a man? You know what I'm saying?
Ultimately, I feel like the softness is for yourself first.
Okay, talk that talk.
It's for you first. I think you gotta be whole. You gotta be complete. You gotta do the work on yourself first before you can give.
That was the right answer.
So
do it for yourself.
Do
first,
it for yourself.
You don't know.
I'm telling you
what the man want. I mean, the man might want a macho girl. You know what I'm saying? But you know what I'm saying. That's what it. You know what I mean? You get together and you get to know.
You get an understanding. You know what I'm saying?
The softness is for you,
right?
And you could turn it on if that's what that man needs.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Right. And it's all about doing the work for yourself so that you can be the best version of yourself. And, you know, pretty much block out any of the negativity. That's what soft is about. Like blocking out anything that's of the negative, anything that's disgruntled, anything that's speaking anger and you know, disappointment and you know, just everything on the negative side is blocking out all of that and embracing all of the good things. Right. That's what the softness is about. So I want you to do the work first. And then, you know, when you do the work first, I think that, you know, like you said, when you meet a person and that person, you know, if that person needs that type of love, if that person needs that type of woman, then you embrace that soft era of yourself. You know what I'm saying? It's already in you. You know what I'm saying? It ain't something you got to go out and get. You already got it already.
When they say it's not on you. It's
in you.
You know? So,
and that also just, you know, shines light on the law of assumption. I just feel like, you know, whatever is in you, what's within you is reflected on the outside. Definitely building that softness within inside yourself to be able to put out to the rest of the world, I think is the most important thing. But I definitely wanted to have the conversation. And, you know, I'm just going to kind of bring it home here that ultimately I feel like the soft era can be embraced by male or female. I think it's just if both parties are willing to embrace that side. But I also think that softness more so means just embracing everything that's positive, raising your frequency levels. You know,
softness, it means love.
Yeah, it means love. You know, so it's like you have to love yourself first before you can love or be good to anybody else. And so ultimately, I feel like there's no point in a person walking around with hard feelings. You know, I know it's a lot of broken people walking around. There's a lot of people that walk around with anger and chips on their shoulder. And so when they enter these relationships, male and female, or, you know, whatever your preference is, I know that a lot of times people come in with preconceived notions already. Like they already come in with broken hearts. They already come in, you know, with, well, this happened to me. You know what I'm saying? Anger, disappointment, holding grudges against people. Right. And so my whole thing is, once again, just embracing the softness and how it can be positive for you. How it can be positive and a good thing for you. You know what I'm saying? As well. Not just in a relationship or whatever, but more so with you.
Right.
You get what I'm saying?
Sweet.
So, on that note, this was just another perspective of the soft era. If you need to catch up, catch video 1, soft girl era, but this is our soft era number 2. I hope you all enjoyed, and I will see you next time. Peace.
Well, and I'm Antonio. I'm a barber at the Fade Doctor Barber Studio located in Katy, Texas. I've been drinking, but located in Katy, Texas, the Fade Doctor Barber Studio.